Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into the world of figurative language, not just as a stylistic tool, but as a powerful mechanism for shaping thought, emotion, and meaning. Beyond similes and metaphors, we'll explore how figurative expressions reveal cultural perspectives, frame arguments, and enrich both literary and everyday language. This lecture will challenge you to recognize figurative patterns in complex texts, interpret nuance, and even craft your own layered language. Let's begin by asking, not just what is said, but how it's being said, and why it matters. Figurative language, an advanced exploration. Figurative language is not merely decorative, it's foundational to cognition and communication. It enables abstract thought by mapping familiar domains onto complex or intangible ideas. From poetry to politics, figures encode worldview, emotion, and ideology. Metaphor is central, functioning through implicit comparison. Time is a thief. It compresses meaning, transfers insight across domains, and reveals cognitive frameworks. Advanced study focuses on metaphor's power to structure conceptual realities. Simile makes comparisons explicit using like, or, as, cold as ice. Though less intense than metaphor, it offers precision and clarity. In rhetoric, similes serve when direct metaphors might overreach or obscure meaning. Personification attributes human qualities to non-human things. The clouds wept. It engages empathy, animates description, and anthropomorphizes abstract forces. In literature, it often signals emotional states or metaphysical questions. Metonymy substitutes related terms. The crown, for monarchy, relying on association. It tightens expression and reflects cultural logic. Synecdoche, a subset, uses a part for the whole. Hands, for workers, shaping how subjects are framed. Irony presents discord between appearance and reality, verbal, dramatic, or situational. It requires high contextual literacy and reader involvement. Irony destabilizes certainty, inviting deeper scrutiny or critique of dominant narratives. Hyperbole exaggerates, "I'm starving," to emphasize emotion or absurdity. It's not literal but rhetorically strategic. In satire or protest, hyperbole exposes extremes or mocks accepted norms through overstatement. Litotes understates with negation, not unhappy, for happy. It creates subtlety, irony, or modesty. Its rhetorical impact lies in restraint, often conveying more by saying less. Symbolism uses objects or elements to signify broader concepts, like a dove for peace. It builds thematic depth, recurring motifs, and emotional resonance. Symbolism often layers literal with metaphorical meaning in narrative structures. Allegory extends symbolism into full narrative frameworks, like Animal Farm representing political regimes. Every character or event serves dual roles, literal and ideological. Allegory invites decoding of systemic critiques beneath surface story. Paradox unites contradictory truths, less is more, to provoke deeper reflection. It unsettles binary logic and invites nuanced interpretation. Philosophers and poets use paradox to express complexity or transcendent ideas. Oxymoron condenses paradox, bittersweet, silent scream. These compressed contradictions create tension and ambiguity. In poetry and rhetoric, oxymorons sharpen imagery while reflecting emotional or intellectual conflict. Apostrophe directly addresses absent or abstract entities. O freedom, evoking urgency and emotion. It dramatizes interior thought or moral confrontation, often used in odes, elegies, or speeches to heighten solemnity. Allusion references other texts, figures, or histories, a Herculean task. It assumes audience familiarity and adds layers of meaning. Allusion creates intertextuality, often evoking cultural authority or irony. Euphemism softens harsh realities, passed on, for, died. It reflects politeness, taboo, or manipulation. In institutional or political speech, euphemism can obscure responsibility or shift public perception. Pun plays on word ambiguity. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. While humorous, puns can also be subversive or philosophical. They exploit the instability of language to entertain or critique. Figurative language is dialogic, building on and challenging previous uses. Tropes may be reclaimed, inverted, or ionized across contexts. Tracing these shifts reveals ideological or cultural reconfigurations. Critical theory links figurative language to power, ideology, and semiotics. Barthes saw myth as naturalized metaphor. Foucault noted discursive control. Figures are thus not neutral but ideological vehicles shaping perception. Political language relies on figurative framing, war on terror, economic storms. Such metaphors shape policy narratives and public sentiment. Analysis reveals how language frames reality, obscures alternatives, and mobilizes emotion. Advertising condenses metaphor and metonymy into images, cars as freedom, perfume as desire. Figurative language here appeals unconsciously to identity and aspiration. It transforms products into symbols of lifestyle or status. In poetry, figuration condenses emotion and intellect, metaphor, paradox, and symbol work in tandem. Tropes in verse are not ornamental but structural. They establish tone, texture, and interpretive complexity. In fiction, extended metaphors can frame entire narratives, Kafka's insect or Orwell's farm animals. Figurative structures inform character, theme, and plot. Literary analysis decodes how language embodies societal critique or psychological depth. Even science employs figurative language, genetic blueprint, cell memory. These metaphors guide understanding but also constrain thought. Philosophers of science critique such frames for shaping epistemological assumptions. Figurative language both reveals and constructs meaning. It activates imagination, encodes ideology, and structures discourse. To study it is to examine how language organizes thought, emotion, and power. Figurative language evolves with culture. New metaphors arise with technological shifts, like surfing the web. These innovations reflect changing cognitive models. Studying them reveals how language adapts to new realities and redefines experience. In post-colonial literature, figuration often subverts dominant narratives, using irony, allegory, or hybrid metaphor. Language becomes a site of resistance and reclamation. Tropes here expose colonial violence or assert cultural identity. Digital media has reshaped figurative expression. Memes, hashtags, and emojis function as multimodal figures. These symbols condense meaning, irony, and commentary in visual linguistic form. Figurative language now operates in hypertextual, participatory contexts. Cross-cultural figurative analysis reveals universals and divergences. While many cultures use nature metaphors, the specifics differ. Snow as purity in one, danger in another. Tropes reflect values, cosmologies, and environmental conditions. Ultimately, mastering figurative language means reading beneath the surface. It involves recognizing what is implied, omitted, or reframed through trope. This sensitivity enables richer interpretation, critical insight, and nuanced communication. Figurative language shapes how we think, not just how we speak. It reveals hidden meaning, emotion, and ideology. To study it is to see language as a lens, not just a tool. Thank you.